Hello everyone, today we're going to be talking about some fun Catholic adventures in New York City. So I think these are really good ideas if you want to go on an adventure, you know, either with a friend, by yourself, have a solo day, if you want to take a date this way. All of these things that I'm going to suggest I have done myself. The first thing I'm going to recommend is going to the Basilica of Old St. Pat's, which is in the Soho Nolita area, which is my favorite area of the city. It's so gorgeous there. And you can go on the Catacomb tour. The Catacomb tour was really great. I loved it because you learn so much, not only about the church, which is fascinating in and of itself, but you learn about the history of Catholicism in New York City. This is so good because you got to remember, we think of like the Bible Belt now, all of that, that's the South where the Protestants are, but the Protestants kind of settled New York, you know, the Dutch, everything. New York was not a Catholic city at the time, not that it really is now, but there's a lot of Catholic churches in New York, oh my gosh. But the Irish came in and you learn about the gangs of New York and everything. So that is all included on the tour. And then you go down to the crypts of the church, which is so cool, the catacombs, if you will, and you see all of these tombs and where these families were. You also see the cemetery where, I mean, it's so unheard of to see a cemetery in New York City. That's actually illegal now, I believe, to bury a body in the ground in New York City because there ain't exactly space for everybody. So it's very cool, and the beautiful area of Manhattan. There's so much shopping to go on there. You know, there's the Mackenzie Child store, the Burberry store, there's all these art galleries I absolutely love. But then if you want to stay at the church for the 7 p.m. mass, that is the mass that is typically for young adults, you know, people in their 20s and 30s. Of course, you could be any age and go to this mass, but that's the typically young people go to that church. It's the young adult mass, essentially. There's another name for that mass if you know another video that I've done on that. But anyway, you go to that mass, then there's also great places to get dinner, such as Minetta Tavern. I love, that's supposedly the best burger in New York City. I agree. Next, I'm going to recommend that you go see the Mother Cabrini Shrine and the Cloisters. You can't get more Catholic than that. To literally go see the body, well, the tomb, it's a wax figure over there, but to see the tomb of Mother Cabrini, the first American saint. Yes, she was naturalized, patron saint of immigrants, the first American saint. Oh, so good. In New York City. So it is way up there in Washington Heights. So you can drive there. There is a small parking lot. But you can also take the A train all the way up. That is totally feasible. You get there, you light the candles, you read the history of Mother Cabrini, you read the history of the children, the orphanage, everything that was there. All of that good stuff. Spend your time, take some time there. There's also a gift shop. Look, I just went recently. I got the Mother Cabrini holy card there. There's all this other stuff you can do and see there. After you're done at the Cabrini Shrine, I recommend taking the 15-minute walk to the Cloisters. The Cloisters I best describe as just some rich guy took all of these churches and castles and monasteries, all this stuff, and just shoved it into New York City. It is so cool. It's a really great place. There is a cafe there, but I recommend just bringing a lunch or something and having yourself a nice little picnic outside because, you know, the cafe is expensive, but it's so cool. There's so much history there. I recommend doing a guided tour if you can, because you can do it on your own. You can walk around and read all the signs and stuff, but it gets more fruitful. I've done it multiple times. It's more fruitful if you have a guided tour. I mean, there's the outdoor area. You can see all the different plants they used to grow and all that stuff. See how the Catholics live. You see like where the monks used to live, all this. It's so cool. And it's just the history of Catholicism over hundreds and hundreds of years. There's so much art. It's so cool to see how the art changes over the years, but they're still painting the same things. The amount of times you see the life of Mary in stained glass, but then also in paintings, but then also this and also that. And you're trying to guess, you're trying to look at the pictures of the saints and trying to guess which saint it is without looking at the card placement. Such a good place for a Catholic adventure. The next that I'm going to suggest is going to Holy Innocents in Midtown. So Midtown is kind of, in my opinion, the ugliest part of Manhattan, but it's the easiest and most accessible from, say, New Jersey, from Port Authority. So I'm in Midtown quite a bit. Holy Innocents is a church that offers the traditional Latin Mass. Personally, you guys know me, I'm not a big traditional Latin Mass girly. It's just, it hasn't clicked with me. Maybe it will one day, but it hasn't clicked with me yet. But I do think all Catholics should go and see a traditional Latin Mass, should experience it, just to see an experience. Make sure you bring, you know, a little guide so you know what's going on, of course, but go experience the traditional Latin Mass. And there's adoration offered every day. There is mass offered every single day. There's confession. So good. Get in your sacraments. After you're done with that, I recommend that you go to the Peep Speakeasy, I really like this place because they have live music all the time. Don't go there if you're looking for an intimate, quiet setting because it's very loud. I love a good sing-along, so this is a very fun bar. So go to the traditional Latin Mass, go to the cocktail bar, have yourself a nice night in Midtown, skip Times Square. I don't believe there's any reason to ever need to go to Times Square. I know if you've never been to New York before, you feel like you need to go to Times Square, just don't get your picture taken with Elmo. That's all I need to say about that. Next, what I would suggest is going to, of course, St. Patrick's Cathedral. You need to go there, but there's so much in the area that's so much that you need to experience. I know it's so cliche, but if you go at Christmas time, you need to go to the Rockefeller Christmas tree. You need to go see all the angels, and you don't need to go ice skating, but you need to go see the ice skaters. You need to go to the top of 30 Rock. If it's a clear day, I have been up there when it's a cloudy day. It's not good. Don't go there when it's a cloudy day. It's not worth it. Go experience all that. See Radio City Music Hall, the Radio City Christmas Spectacular with the Rockettes. Yes, I do like the Rockettes, but the rest of the show is kind of lame and cheesy. I don't really think you need to go to that. If you're an adult, if you have kids, it's very sweet. Go take them if you have kids. It's a good way to get into the Christmas spirit. But then go to St. Patrick's Cathedral. It's always good music. I've been there several times, of course. They always have good music. It's very graceful is the best way I can describe it. And there's so many saints and so many candles. I love lighting candles with all the different saints, your different intentions, the different intercessors. If you have the opportunity to go into the crypts of St. Patrick's Cathedral, I highly recommend. A lot of people are down there, such as Pierre Toussaint, who's probably going to be a saint, and Cardinal O'Connor, who founded the Sisters of Life and who could possibly be a saint one day and is just such a good man. I mean, he's probably a saint, just not a canonized saint yet. So definitely go down and venerate the crypts if you have the opportunity to do so, and light candles and be there with this beautiful cathedral. I mean, literally there is so much. I hate to say this because I love New York City so much. There's so much ugliness in New York City, but then you go into this gorgeous cathedral and there's so much beauty. And there's so many beautiful churches in New York. Yes, you might walk into one that maybe the values are a little questionable, but you're not going to walk into an ugly church in New York City. And there's just so many of them. I do want to do a video one day on the beautiful churches of New York, but I will talk about, for my next suggestion, I'll talk about what I think is the most beautiful church in New York, which is St. John Baptiste on the Upper East Side. It was hard for me to pick what I think is the most beautiful one, but I do think this one is so pretty. They have adoration, confession every single day, mass multiple times a day. I also have a national shrine to St. Anne, and I went to this church when I was 18 years old, and this was my first experience with St. Anne, the first time, on a personal note, that I developed a devotion to her that I still have to this day. It's really cool to see how St. Anne's worked in my life, and maybe you'll go there and experience that too. They have a relic of St. Anne at this parish. Now you might be thinking, how do they have a relic from a saint who died over 2,000 years ago? But think about it. After Jesus died and rose from the dead, don't you think people would have gravitated towards the bodies of his relatives, especially his grandmother? There's different theories on how her body got to Europe. You can choose to believe, you don't have to choose to believe. I choose to believe. I love this church, I love this shrine. Go and experience Catholicism in New York City. And if you want a good brunch, Babuquera is right around the corner. Next suggestion is going to Catholic Underground. I love Catholic Underground. It's so moving. It's so fulfilling to go to Catholic Underground. If you want to make it a full day in New York on the Upper East Side, that's where Catholic Underground is. It's Our Lady of Good Counsel Church. Go to the Metropolitan Museum of Art first. There's obviously amazing artwork in there. And of course, so much of that is Catholic and beautiful, and it's a museum I think everyone can enjoy. You don't have to be Catholic, obviously you don't have to be Catholic to experience this museum and all the fruits that it has to offer. But after you experience that and you go on the 20-minute walk to Our Lady of Good Counsel, they start off Catholic Underground with Vespers, but they do it in that tonal way, right? I'm so bad at the tonal thing when no one's there, but if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's like that. And the rich he has sent away empty. No, they don't say, and the rich he has sent away empty. They do, I can't do it. It's something I think everyone should experience. To experience doing Vespers, to do the Liturgy of the Hours with a group, is something that binds us together. And you go there and you don't just, it's run by the Franciscan Friars of the Renewal, but you don't just see the Franciscans there. You see the Sisters of Life, you see the Missionaries of Charity, you see the Salesians. Of course, it's different religious every month. The first Saturday of every month from September to May, because the Franciscans go away for the summer. But you go there and then there's confession going on, and you see these Franciscans who are on Ascension Presents, if you know what I'm talking about. If you know who I'm talking about, those priests, I get to see them and sometimes receive confession from them on a monthly basis. I love living so close to New York City. But you get to experience that. And then after they're done with Vespers, they turn off all the lights, but they leave the spotlight on the Eucharist, and then they do a meditative praise and worship session. It is very, very tastefully done. It's not cheesy. It's not showy. It's very simple. And after that, after benediction, you go downstairs to the basement, and there's usually a band going on or some other art or something going on that gives you a really good social opportunity, a great opportunity to run into some friends or to make new friends. And then after that, they do night prayer. And if you're not interested in sticking around for the band, I typically don't. I usually go to my favorite restaurant in New York, which is called Heidelberg. I love Germany. I love German food. Heidelberg, in my opinion, has the best German food in New York. So I usually go there after the Catholic Underground to go to dinner or to pick up a sandwich. And if I'm not going there, a place I used to go to a lot more in my early 20s was Express Diner. You walk in there, you're gonna see all the people from Catholic Underground at Express Diner. So sometimes people like to go to those diners and whatnot, or go for a walk, and then they come back for night prayer. That's another thing they do. I do recommend, if you don't know anyone, to stick around for the social, because it is fun and tends to be something to do, but I do like going to those restaurants as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any suggestions on some other New York Catholic adventures, please let me know in the comments down below. If you are in the New York area, let me know what the prettiest churches are. If you live in a different city and you want to suggest some Catholic adventures, let me know. Of course, like, New York is where I live, basically, so this is what I'm gonna know the most about, but I would love to know some Catholic adventures in some other cities so that when I travel, I know where to go. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you give this video a thumbs up, hit the bell and hit subscribe so you never miss one of my videos, I would really, really appreciate it. It means so much to me that you guys watch my videos, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!